So next process is we are going to draw a network diagram based upon activity on node method. Okay, so we can name that particular method again as precedence diagram method. So here we are having a simple activity, that is activity A, B, C and D, having duration and predecessor is also given. Okay, so we can begin to draw the network diagram. So while we drawing the particular network diagram, the particular individual node itself try to draw early starting, earliest finishing, latest starting, latest finishing. So try to draw a box like this to make it more convenient. Okay, so this is not activity on arrow method. Generally activity on arrow method, how we can begin is, for example, we can draw this particular diagram by begin with activity on arrow method. Okay, just for example. Okay, for activity A and B having no predecessor, right? So I can begin like activity A and activity B. Okay, and activity C has predecessor is A. So activity C. Activity D has predecessor B and C. B and C. B and C has to complete to begin activity D. We got it. So this is how we will get a network diagram when we try to draw with activity on arrow method. So now we are going to draw based upon activity on node method. Okay, so how can we draw A and B, because A and B having no predecessor, right? So we can begin like, okay, so from here we can connect activity A and B. Activity A and activity B. So we can connect like this. Yes. Okay, then activity C, activity C predecessor is A, so activity C will come here. No problems. In activity D, activity D having predecessor B and C. B and C. B and C. Okay. B is a predecessor of D and C is also the predecessor of D. Finally, end. Okay, so now you understand the diagram difference between the activity on arrow and activity on node. It means the precedence diagram method. Okay. Okay, so for we need to mention the duration of individual activity. A we are having 3 duration, B having 6 duration, C having 7 duration, and D having 2 as duration. Okay, so I'm maximizing this particular location so that we can complete the early starting, earliest finishing, and latest starting and latest finishing. So we always begin with 0. Anyhow, there is a no correction, right? So earliest startup A is 0. So when can we finish activity A? How much early we can finish activity A is 0 plus 3, 3, right? Same way, when we begin activity C, we have to start activity C after completion of A. So we can begin How much early we can start the activity C is 3. How much early we can complete the activity C? 3 plus 7, 10. Okay. When we come to activity D, it is a junction. Actually activity C and B is also coming, so we can wait for to complete activity B. How much early we can start activity B? It is 0. How much early we can complete activity B? That is 0 plus 6, 6. So for activity D, you having two options. One is 6, another one is 10. How much early you can start is 6, but what is the actual earliest start definition? It's a possible earliest start. The possible earliest start is the maximum value. Okay, so 10. So 10 plus 2, 12 is the total duration of the particular network diagram. Okay, so for this particular network diagram, how much late you can complete the activity? I mean, the forward pass is over. Forward pass is over. Forward pass is over, and we are now going to calculate backward pass. How much late we can complete this particular activity? We can't delay more than 12, right? So how much late we can start to come in order to complete this activity in 12 is 12 minus the duration. That is the latest start is 10. Okay. So how much late you can complete the activity C is again the 10. Same 10 will come here. 10 minus 7, 3. Clear? How much late you can complete activity A? Again 3. 3 minus 0, 0. So when you come to activity B, how much late you can complete the activity B is 10, right? So how much late you can start? 10 minus 6, 4. Okay, so finally you will end up with 0 in the start. Clear? So the difference between earliest start and latest start, or earliest finish and latest finish, if the difference is 0, then it is termed as critical path. If it is not, you will have float. In this particular activity B, you have 4 as your total float. Okay, but remaining all the activity, the early start and latest start is 0. So activity A to C and C to D is your critical path. You understand? So in this critical path, you are supposed to give much more importance. If you not give any importance in this particular critical path, sometimes the activity duration may increase. If a single day increment will turn the entire project duration into a long time. Yeah, so you have to give much more important in the critical path. So wherever there is a float, for example, activity here we are having float. It means 4 days you are having float. It means it is not so compulsory, it is not so necessary you need to start the activity by 0. You can start by first day, no problem. You can start by second day, no problem. You can start by third day, no problem. But what is the latest start? At least you have to start by 4, not by 5. Clear? So this is what is the use of float. So you can give less priority to activity B and you can give more priority to remaining activities. Okay, so whenever the network is there, if there is a float, you can give less priority based upon the number of duration. But you can't go, if you're concerned with activity B, you can't go beyond 4. Okay. So same way, you have to fill the tabular column. Earliest starting, latest starting time. Okay. So this method is a little bit easy than activity on arrow method. Okay. So this is how we find critical path.